Hey everyone, welcome back. We are out here in the hayfield again because it's time to do a little bit of tedding. And real quick, I'd just like to kind of go over why that you'd want to ted your hay. So a lot of times you're up against weather and it's hard to get your hay to dry. And you know, tedding your hay can actually get you an extra day out of your drying time. So I mean, it can make it a day faster. And sometimes possibly even a little bit more than that depending on the weather. So for instance, in our case, the way that our weather works around here, we're right up against the edge all the time of rain, it seems like. Just at the moment you think you have enough time to bale your hay and get it put away, then you'll either have a pop-up thunderstorm or you'll have no rain for 6 days, and the next thing you know, you look at the weather and it'll say no rain for 5 days, and then you look again and it'll say no rain for 4 days. So it just keeps narrowing down around here all the time, and you never know when a pop-up shower is going to happen. So there's a few things that a tedder can really help you with. One, if you do get a little rain shower on your hay after you've cut it, then you can spread it out and fluff it up and get, it doesn't hurt it that way. It allows you to spread it out and get the air to dry it out, providing the weather cooperates the next day. So in our case, we actually had rain last night, and we had one while I was cutting the hay, come a little shower. It wasn't too bad, just enough to kind of dampen the ground, but not the dirt, just the tops of the top of the grass. And then that night we had a pretty decent little rain shower. And the thing is, that sounds bad, like, oh no, the hay might be ruined. But if you have a way to turn that hay and fluff it up, then it doesn't hurt it at all. So the only thing that you might kind of run into, it might possibly degrade the quality of the hay just a tiny bit, but not enough to really worry about in most cases. So our hay right now is actually kind of windrowed, because when we cut it, the drum mower actually throws it all to the middle and makes windrows. Well, that allows the grass on each side and the ground to kind of get the air and the sunlight, and that really helps it to dry the ground, which is why I usually wait a day before I actually ted the hay. Because if there's moisture on the ground and you've got it laying in that or on top of that moisture, then it can't dry and can't come up through the hay hardly, and it keeps your hay wet. But if your ground is a little bit wet that way, having that hay thrown into the middle is not such a big deal when you have a tedder, because that tedder then, after you've let that ground dry a little bit, then you can spread it back out over the ground and kind of evenly distribute the hay, and it'll fluff it up a little bit, and then that way the wind and stuff can run through it, and the sunlight can hit pretty much all the hay as opposed to just the top of the piles. That actually happened last night. It rained on us, and this is one thing that we can really utilize our tedder for, is being able to come out here and I didn't have to really worry about it, because after that rain last night, then they're calling for no rain until the day that we're going to bale. So there should be plenty of time for it to dry back out. Your specific area could really make a difference in this though, because after this rain and the storms and stuff we had just a few days ago, it really changed the weather, and now we're into more of a lower humidity, kind of a mid-70s temperature, which for hay drying is not ideal. Usually you want it pretty hot and sunny, still lower humidity if you can get it. But it seems like around here, every time it's hot, it's really humid. And that also can slow your hay drying process down. The idea would be to have 85, 90 degree weather, but really low humidity. And that would really dry it out fast. You could possibly even bale it earlier because of those weather conditions. So you do have to kind of just take it case by case basis. But having that tedder to be able to spread out the hay, fluff it up, will increase your drying time in just about any climate or any condition, unless it rains on it again. It's not the fix-all to everything, but it definitely helps to have that in the situations where you may run into problems with beating a timeline with weather. And so not only are you drying out your hay a little bit faster, but you're also doing it more uniformly. So if you've got your hay laying on the ground, the bottom of it, in 3 days, if you just let it lay there and don't turn it over, don't do anything to it, more than likely the bottom will still be green and still be wet. So with the tedder, again, you can fluff that up, you can spread it out more even, helps your hay dry more even, and gives you a better quality product. So I just thought I'd share that little bit of information with you. That's why we ted the hay. That's why we chose to get a tedder, because we're all the time up against the weather, and typically we can shorten our drying time by a day. And that one day can make all the difference in the world. So thanks for checking out the video. If you enjoyed it, I appreciate you hitting that thumbs up button. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. And until next time, I'll see you outdoors.